Not so elitist as an 18-year-old female, I decided to go on a nature retreat in March as a student leader. It's a weekend-long trip that you basically have to be nominated for by your peers and teachers, and I was both nervous and excited to be given this responsibility, especially since I had only been a participant the year prior. The actual retreat went decently well, though there were a few kids who were obviously nominated only because of their friends, and hence acted up occasionally. However, it was near the end of the trip where I personally had a bad experience. It was literally 20 to 30 minutes before we were all loading onto buses to return to campus when I commented to one of the other leaders, an 18-year-old male, that the new group in the lunch hall with us were likely a sorority. Asked why I thought so, and I explained that their table place cards had very Greek names, something to the extent of Omega or Delta, and they all wore different types of merchandise with longer versions of those names on them. Those were honestly my primary reasons, but I went on to make an absent-minded comment that most of the girls there were predominantly white. He looked perplexed and asked me what it mattered if they were white. To be honest, only reason I mentioned it was because they fit a stereotype associated with sorority members, but I was taken aback by his apparent confusion and seriousness in what I meant to be a lighthearted statement. I didn't really know how to respond, so I essentially just said that most sororities tend to be predominantly white due to classism and elitism. He asked if I was serious, and I said I was. Then went on to ask, and I quote, "So because they're white, they're racist?" I'm not a very confrontational person, especially when I'm not anticipating it, so I kind of just looked at him and mumbled, "No, I didn't say that." However, he was already turning to the table we were sitting at and very loudly said, "No, you said that because they're white, they're racist." Firstly, I am myself. For me to say that just because the girls were white, they are racist, basically be an attack on my own identity too. Secondly, I stated classist and elitist, and never explicitly implied nor stated that sororities are racist. Thirdly, I meant the original comment originally as a feeble joke about people fitting a, in my opinion, pretty low-key stereotype. I decided that since the topic had gotten so awkward, I would just change the conversation and move on. However, he blatantly ignored me for the last moments of the trip. When he did speak to me, his words were incredibly brief. Still don't understand why he was so upset by what I said. Perhaps he thought I wasn't white somehow, and was being unfair towards non-white people, though I still think I look, white. He himself is also white, so I don't know if he took offense to what I said, or if he knows individuals who are part of sororities. I guess I just want outside opinions from people who do not know me. Maybe I shouldn't have said what I said, but I also feel like he got triggered for no reason. Am I the meanie?